You ready to start?
Oh, yeah, we can start.
So you know what to say?
No, Chris, I've been in this club for close to 2 years and have no clue what to say to our audience. What do you think?
I think you're being pretty mean for someone who's never hosted before.
Okay, respectfully, Chris, this isn't rocket science. I think I've got this. All you have to do is say, "Welcome to BSU The Real Deal." Ow! What was that?
You said the wrong intro.
Chris, that is the intro. This is BSU The Real Deal. Ow! There it is again. What was that?
A motivating, controlled shock.
Well, it's not very motivating. This is BSU. Ow! Come on! I can't even say BSU. Ow!
Just say the right intro and it'll stop happening.
Just say what? That is the intro. Ow! I didn't even say anything that time.
You know what to say. The Real News Network.
Miniature Donkey News. The Onion. Fox? Okay, I deserved that one. But then, what news network are you talking about? Okay, that one was personal.
The only news network that matters. Cut to the intro and allow the truth to reveal itself.
Oh, no. No!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new Snake News. I'm your host, Chris.
And I'm Seth. And I'm Seth.
Don't worry, that's the only time we have to do that.
Oh, thank God.
But yes, we are the new Snake News, the world's premier news network that has never told any lies and never killed anyone in the history of forever.
And to mark our glorious return into mainstream media and the cultural zeitgeist, we're going to talk about all things snake related in the media. But first, we need to address something.
Yes, as you may have noticed, my co-host is no longer the plucky and colorful Milo, but the other random white guy we found on the street,
Dude, I'm the head writer for the show.
said the liar.
What?
What?
In any case, yes, Milo will not be a part of Snake News. They were too powerful and could not be overtaken by Snake News mind control. I mean, they escaped, or they managed to leave before they were infected with the venom, or no,
They left because of creative differences.
yeah. And for some reason, they didn't want to spread the reptile-based misinformation. Ow! Stop doing that, please.
Then to conform to our ways, nerd.
Fine. Cut to the first segment, and when we get back, I'll be the snakiest Snake News host to ever snake on Snake News.
Hey homies, my name is Andrew, and last night at approximately 12:13 a.m., I finished watching Snakes on a Plane starring Samuel L. Jackson, and I warn you of spoilers right off the bat. Okay, let's start. Big spoiler here, there were snakes on the plane. To summarize the much less entertaining plot of the movie, a civilian witnessed a celebrity killing someone, so he was rushed on a plane to testify all the way in California. His celebrity then hires assassins to kill the witness on said plane using our favorite slippery friends. Pretty simple, I know, but now I get to talk about the actual important part of this movie, the snakes on the plane. Now, the film's first snake was seen 23 minutes into the movie. I know what you're thinking. How is this justified? You're telling me that a movie with snakes in the title didn't show any snakes until 20 minutes in? What will happen to the snake economy, snake politics? Setting that aside, I did find that the snakes were very well represented in this movie, showcasing a variety of snakes. We got red ones, blue ones, cobras, and boa constrictors. We even have intellectual snakes, smart enough to sever the advanced systems of the plane, causing quite a conflict in the cabin. Could we say they were more spy snakes? Whatever. One of my favorite snakes in the movie was a huge boa constrictor. It had 2 amazing fangs and at least 2 of my wingspans long. But due to the lack of time, I couldn't quite find a picture online, but don't worry. I drew a pretty accurate picture and brought it in today. Anyway, the movie wasn't too popular within snake culture, as many of the snakes portrayed were killed off quite brutally, the worst of it being death via microwave. And I don't care if this movie was entirely CGI, this movie was extremely detrimental to the snake culture, and I can't justify it. Especially the way that the people on the plane only wanted to harm the snakes, instead of understanding the snakes. Yes, they may have been slowly killing everyone, but maybe they were just scared. Also, somehow the director made it feel like a dystopian Fallout movie instead of a fast-paced thriller, but I won't talk about that. What I will say is, you thought the zombie apocalypse was bad? Try the snake apocalypse.
All right, Seth, snake it up for us.
Snake isn't a verb.
You used it as one first.
Shut up, Chris.
Why do all my co-hosts tell me that?
Gee, I wonder. Anyway, there is a supreme lack of snake representation in the media.
What? But snakes are in media all the time.
Yeah, as the villains. Snakes on a plane, Hunger Games, that stupid drifting technique in Mario Kart.
Oh, you're just mad because you can't do it.
I can do it.
Right. Should I look out the window to see if pigs can fly?
Okay then, what about Cobra from G.I. Joe? Is that positive snake representation?
All right, you got me there. Cobra is nothing but unfair slander against our snake brethren. I mean, it would be ridiculous for us to actually have a terrorist organization that's on brand.
Exactly.
Obviously, our terrorist group is hidden way better than that. Or else, how would anyone find us?
Yeah, wait, what?
I said cut to the next segment.
Hi, Real Deal. It's Stacy Wilder. That was cringe. And today, I guess our topic is snakes. Well, from reptiles to fake friends, snakes are prevalent across the globe. In my life, I would like to consider myself a snake handler of sorts. Not quite Britney Spears, but I have handled a milk snake and a corn snake, and I've also pet a boa, I think. Elementary school was an interesting time, that's for sure. Needless to say, I know a thing or two about snakes. If there's one snake I'm extremely familiar with, it is the iconic, dazzling, perfect Snivy. If you didn't get to play or see Generation 5 of Pokemon, first of all, I'm sorry, but second of all, Snivy is one of the greatest starters of all time. Does Snivy have arms? Yes. Does Snivy have legs? Yes. Is it still labeled the snake Pokemon? Of course. It makes sense because as it evolves, it loses both of those, so it's just a sort of trust the process situation. Regardless of the logistics, Snivy is hands down one of the most iconic snakes I've ever handled in my life. Little 5-year-old Stacy knew what was up, and now you do too.
So, Chris, did you want to elaborate on what you said earlier?
Sure. Snake Enterprises definitely doesn't have any completely legitimate paramilitary groups that have been unfairly labeled as terrorist organizations by the hypocritical first world countries.
Well, seems legit to me. Anyway, back to snake representation. There are some diamonds in the rough that would be criminal to not mention, like Cobra Kai, although that one does technically frame them as the bad guys in the end, so...
Shush, spoilers, okay? I'm only on season 2.
It finished like 2 months ago.
I'm busy.
With what, ping pong?
There's also Metal Gear Solid.
I thought we weren't doing that anymore.
I know, but doesn't it deserve it, you know? Solid Snake, Liquid Snake, Punish Venom Snake, Old Snake, Naked Snake. Senator Armstrong?
Okay, that last one didn't sound like it had anything to do with snakes. Could you back that up with a source?
My source is I made it the up.
All right, I don't think we're getting anywhere else with this. Cut to the last segment.
Hello, Snake News, and welcome to Dawson's Poetry Hour. Today, I've got one of my favorite pieces, written and performed by a snake. I pour these words on paper when everyone's at slumber. I dream when everyone's awake, like a serpent dutiful for one's sake. I slither, I toil, I breathe, I devour, all it seems for a tiny glass hour. My antidote is mercy, not love. A crow is white as a dove. Salvation will not reach me for an eons. My busy hands are as tired as peons. Darkness is light when it is solemn. My chains will be forever broken. Sublime. Back to the Snake Show.
Seth, I have an announcement to make.
Is it that you plan to use a bunch of terrorist groups like the one that Snake Enterprises definitely doesn't have to plunge the world into war, jump-starting the American economy, and then getting a heart transplant so that you have nanomachines? Son?
No, but that does sound like a killer game idea. Now, my announcement is that we are officially rebranding to Snake News. Get ready, season 24, everybody. It's gonna be all snakes, all the time.
That doesn't sound like a practical business model. Ow! Yes! Snake News! 100 seasons, 100 years of Snake News, all time, all the time. It's going to be Snake News, snakes segments. Nobody will step on us. No step on Snake.
Not even the rats and miniature donkeys will stop us. Not even going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to take turkey off the menu. It's gonna be what, Seth?
Snake News forever and ever, Chris. It's gonna be you, and it's gonna be you and me, and the snakes will never die, Chris. We'll slither for 100 years, for 100 seasons, Chris. 100 Snake News seasons, 100 snakes. Snake News, son. Snakes and pythons and cobras and serpents and.
Did another one of my co-hosts just die? Hello. For today's final words, I thought it important to discuss a real problem facing America: Burmese pythons in Florida. In 1979, Burmese pythons were introduced to the Florida Everglades, and ever since then they have been flourishing. They have proven to be apex predators in this environment, even eating some local alligators. However, they have been wrongly labeled as invasive by the most invasive species on the planet. Ironic. And now we can find thousands of these poor, majestic creatures being slain in their homes by humans treating their lives as open season 24/7. It has come to my attention that no one is standing up for their rights as American citizens. So we need to make a stand ourselves to save these innocent snakes. Our brethren need us now more than ever. So if you believe in snake supremacy, as is the correct belief system, then it's time to go to the Everglades and protest for the lives of these pythons. Who cares if the ecosystem cannot survive with their hostile takeover? What dirty language. Hostile. Oh, nay. The only ones being hostile are the evil poachers ruining the perfect lives of the Everglade pythons. I just can't do this anymore. It's too upsetting. This has been Chris Logan. Long live snake supremacy.
What's poppin', fam dogs? Originally, I was going to talk about my favorite snakes from mythology to fit our serpentine theme and whatnot. You know, Apophis, Quetzalcoatl, Jormungandr, Satan, that one time. But then, last night, I read a short story that was so good and so horrific that I just couldn't pass up talking about it. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is a post-apocalyptic science fiction short story written by Harlan Ellison in 1967. It tells the tale of 5 humans that are tortured for centuries by an evil AI named Am, whose hate for humanity is so famous that his monologue from the novel became a copy pasta for a bit. I'm not going to read it for you because I'm lazy and you can find it on the internet pretty damn easily, but I will say that if it's all you know about this story, then you're missing out, like by a lot. Like in just 11 pages that I found online after a 30-second Google search, I was subjected to the most grotesque and uncomfortable body horror I've ever read in my 2 decades on this earth. I won't spoil any of it because, again, it's 11 pages and I found it online for free and you should really just read it yourself, but just know that it will make you recoil in disgust. Either that or leave your mouth agape from pure shock of the string of words you just read. Anyway, that's going to do it for me here. See you next week in Slither.io or whatever snake crap we're talking about this week. I don't know. I black out when we're filming this stuff.
Thank you so much for watching our show. BSU, the real deal. That's right. The potion or gas or whatever John T. Snakesworth did to us has worn off, so we should be back to normal. Right, Seth? Seth?
I'm back.
Great. You want to help me with the outro?
Huh? Oh, yeah, sure. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram or whatever. I think we post there now. Oh, and YouTube. Subscribe and bell and all that jazz. What happened?
We got brainwashed. Anyway, I'm your host, Chris.
And I'm Seth. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about the most anticipated movie of the MCU since Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers Doomsday.